Welcome back to Soda City Live. The Richland County Neighborhood Council, or RCNC, is holding a special community informative event regarding the Neighborhoods USA. It's a conference that has been awarded to Richland County and the City of Columbia. Joining us today with the Richland County Neighborhood Council to share more is President Tig Watts and Vice President John Black. And I'm so glad to have the two of you joining us today to tell us more about your organization and to also talk about this conference. So first, if you could tell us a little bit more about this organization and what it is you all do.
Sure. Richland County Neighborhood Council is an umbrella organization of all the neighborhoods in Richland County. As whether you're in a municipality like the City of Columbia or Forest Acres, or you're in an unincorporated area, we welcome participation from all of our communities so that we can not only honor the achievements of our neighborhoods, empower our communities, but also find ways to assist and reach out to communities far and beyond. And as far as it comes to this neighborhood conference that we've been able to successfully land, this will be the first time that it is ever coming not only to South Carolina, but the Carolinas as both North and South Carolina.
That's amazing. So let's talk a little bit about this conference. What does this conference entail, and what type of details will this informative community meeting, if you will, kind of cover?
So essentially what we're doing is we're offering an opportunity for the neighborhoods within the county to come together, to join us, so that we can show the nation, and we have participants worldwide that attend the Neighborhoods USA conference. And so we want to bring people in together, everybody collaboratively to work together so we can show hospitality of Columbia, Richland County, and South Carolina. And that's going to be the biggest part of just getting people involved, so it's not like one specific little group that's doing this. We want it to be a community effort countywide.
That's amazing. And you know, as you all are speaking, I'm thinking like the neighborhood association times 20, but with a lot more resources, a lot more support, and I mean nationally. That's huge. Yes. That's huge. So let's talk about this event. Will people need to register for this? Anything they need to do special before they come?
Most important thing is to block off their calendars this Thursday from 6 to 7 to join us at the County Council Chambers. We're welcoming participation, even if you're involved in your neighborhood association or you're not. We want everybody's input on this because this is a true celebration for not only the City of Columbia, but Richland County as a whole. And when you talk about neighborhood associations times 20, I would say this is more like neighborhood associations times 2,000.
Oh, wow.
It's a huge undertaking because neighborhoods are very important to everybody. It's where we make our largest investments. It's where we celebrate the achievements of life, like births and marriages, and it's where we console one another during times of mourning and grief. Neighborhoods are vital not only to our individuals, but our entire fabrics that make up our county here. And so we welcome all participation, and we want everybody's input on this because, to be quite frank and honest, an undertaking of bringing more than 1,500 guests to Richland County to celebrate Neighborhoods USA is going to take the work of many people.
Absolutely. Let's talk about the details again, where this event will take place, and if anyone wants to be a part of the organization, how can they do so? Where can they find more information?
We've got more information that we'll be presenting on our website at rcnc.com. We will also be, like I say, holding an open house, asking for participation, and we will also be holding more meetings out in the community as time goes by. To find out more information about NUSA, we encourage people to go to nusa.org. It's a wonderful organization that's been in existence for more than 48 years. I've had the luxury of serving as president of that organization when I served on the board of directors for 4 years. And we have held conferences in places like Minneapolis, Indianapolis, Eugene, Oregon, Omaha, Nebraska. We have went all over the place, and for it to finally come to Columbia and Richland County is an achievement for South Carolina as a whole.
Awesome. Well, I want to thank the two of you for joining